Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have ourselves a 2v2. That's right, a 2v2 on road to Kharkov. Our heroes today are going to be Ofield, playing for the Soviets, and his allies, or ally, in the yellow is going to be RtN.Dianc. I guess we'll just, I don't know, the yellow player is going to be his ally. And the opponents are going to be from, apparently, the clan SoE. In the red, it's going to be Sturmpanther, playing for the Germans. And his ally in the purple or pink trunks, depending your preference, is Overlord, again from SoE, and again, a German. So while this game gets underway, in the recent patches, we had some changes in the ranking kind of thing. So it's kind of hard to say exactly what rank people are, so I'm not gonna, try to go too much into it because it all depends whether you're doing random 2v2s or arranged teams and such. So I'm just gonna throw it out there that Ofield is apparently the highest ranked, with his Soviet 2v2 play being 83. So top 100 player right here for the 2v2s, and we'll just leave it at that because the other one's a little bit too more convoluted. But regardless. So, while this goes underway, we do see that Ofield sends his combat engineer straight into this house in the center, drawing the attention of that MG42 in the road. Since not a lot is really going to happen, I don't think. Let's go through those bulletins. We have Ofield getting experience for MGs, less suppression received for shock troops, so we can only assume he's going to go for shock troops, and faster veterancy on mortars. His ally in the yellow goes for the buffing of conscripts, so essentially the 3% faster reload, the 3% accuracy, and the 2-2 split. And then the enemies, we have the red player going for 4% rate of fire on MGs, 3% accuracy on Panzer Grenadiers, and the 2-2 split for the Grenadiers. While at the end, his ally Overlord, the Tiger, gets 4% increased armor penetration, Grenadiers 3% accuracy, and the 2-2 split. So yeah, that's about it. I'm going to close that out for now, just so that it doesn't obstruct the vision too much, since we already have a lot of things going on. So anyways, a decently big engagement here in the center, led specifically by Ofield, using his combat engineers and conscripts to Ura past the Grenadiers and MG42s from both red and purple, sending his conscripts into this house to delay the enemy, while his ally is a little bit further back, does have a sniper on the field, and allows him to, get some shots out there. Dianc. It's going to be hard to pronounce his name. Conscripts in the house are taking quite a beating. We hear the MG42 over here in this house opening up on a Maxim machine gun for Ofield that is currently in the open road, trying to crawl out of the way. And on the far left-hand side, the conscripts did manage to jump out of the house at 2 men and get out of there alive. Conscripts being backed up by a scout car with a sniper inside. Cheeky maneuver there by Dianc. And while the fighting is still going on, just, back and forth, let's take a look at that text. So obviously we see that the yellow player Dianc went for tier 1, Ofield went for tier 2, so a nice little split there. And both German players, or Austere, went for tier 1. We have Grenadiers, MG42s, and mortars all over the place. We have 2 Grenadiers for purple, 1 MG and 1 mortar, while we have 1 Grenadier for red, 1 MG and 2 mortars. So, a little bit of a different type of setup there, but not bad. So center map right now is essentially dominated by the Germans. We have conscripts moving around trying to prod in, but we have a lot of indirect fire set up all across. We have mortars on each flank, another one moving into the center. Grenadiers and Pyos moving over to the right-hand side. And we have combat engineers with flamethrowers and Maxim machine guns set up in the middle of the road, trying to catch that Pyo. Pyo retreats. The Grenadier squad is going to get suppressed, and the combat engineers might be able to get in there to throw some nasty damage with the flamethrower as the Grenadiers are crawling around. And there they go. Flamethrower goes off, doing quite a bit of damage to the squad. The squad needs to get itself out of there, but I don't think it will. Not quickly, at least. Loses 1 man, still crawling out of the range. And it looks like they managed to crawl out of the range of the Maxim machine gun, only to crawl into the line of sight of a conscript squad. However, the conscripts are getting bombarded by the mortars. Down to 2 men. Ooh, a nasty mortar shot there. Lands on its own Grenadier squad. Down to 1 man on that conscript squad. Hits retreat. Can he make it out? Looks like he will. engineer takes a nasty shot to the face and dies to the mortar, and the grenadiers are forced to move to the right-hand side. So yeah, still a lot of mortars on the field. I mean, that's 3 mortars consistently shooting, and the German mortars are the fastest mortars on the field, so it's quite deadly. Left-hand side, we see a big push here by Purple, going with Grenadiers and MGs. Far behind, we have a Pyro squad just sitting there, but we see a Conscript squad retreating from the left side flank. And that is very nice. Up in the bases, Red has gone for Tier 2, and nothing for Purple. So we shall probably see some half-tracks, maybe? Or straight into Panzer Grenadiers for more anti-infantry. Who knows? We'll see. Scout car up in the north, being used to cap right now. Still has that sniper inside. And the conscripts in the center back off to get themselves into heavy cover. But that heavy cover will not protect them too long, considering that there are, well, we said 3 mortars on the field. Panzer Grenadier is getting produced for Red, so he is going to be going for more anti-infantry. LMG on that Gren squad trying to stop these conscripts as they approach. The conscript squad in the wall ended up... Wait, what happened to it? Did it die? There's a lot of conscripts laying around. And I think, yeah, I think one of the conscript squads ended up dying. Oh, no, wait, it's over here. Move it around and move in this direction. Yeah, it was a little bit too quick for it to die. I was a little bit surprised. MG42 manages to catch that conscript squad right at the edge of its arc of fire, suppressing it, but they managed to stay out of sight and break the suppression. Scout car moves up and is right in the arc of fire of that MG42, taking a lot of damage. The sniper inside taking some shots at the MG42, bringing it down to 2 men. Scout car manages to barely or finally get itself out of its arc of fire and get a nice little flank. Hidden retreat and moving the scout car at the same time, however, does not allow the sniper to hit, and it makes it out alive with 2 men. Mines laid down by Yellow all over the place, very nice. And up in the north, we have conscripts and Maxim machine gun pushing forward, catching those Panzer Grenadiers out in the open. The MG42 trying to defend it as it can. Conscripts, however, are getting bombarded by those German mortars, and the Maxim machine gun is forced to retreat due to that sheer amount of indirect fire. More Panzer Grenadiers on the field for Red. He has the second one coming down the road right now. There it is. So that will be very difficult to fight. Do we have commander selected by anybody? Yes, we have the yellow player going for guard mortar coordination tactics. So very nice. As you can see, because he already has a guard squad that is running down the field. Scout car in the center, opening up on the Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers taking a shot. Down goes one of them. They continue to move forward. The conscripts are going to lose against them. They are trying to dodge those mortar shots as best they can. Maxim machine gun opening up on the Panzer Grenadiers, manages to get a suppression, but the half-track goes, well, scout car that is, goes down to a direct mortar shot, and the sniper inside gets annihilated for the yellow player, which is quite unfortunate. Panzer Grenadiers continue to push forward. Only one of them actually died to the sniper, and then now there is no sniper to worry about. Conscripts crawling out of the range of the MG42. LMGs on those Grens are still going to be able to do quite a bit of damage, and they notice that, so they retreat. Guard rifles on the left-hand side trying to hold the line against the Grens. They will be able to hold it in that heavy cover for a little while, but a rifle nicely placed on them would be able to kill them off. We do have a mortar on the field for O-Field. 5 kills up till now. Not a lot, but let's take a look at those German mortars. We have Purple Player's mortar already up to Veteran C2. This is the one that killed the vehicle. Also killed a friendly a little while ago, but that's fine. Then we have the 2 mortars for Red, one with Veteran C1 and 7 kills. The other also 7 kills, but no veterancy, so less valuable targets, I suppose. Conscripts on the left-hand side getting shot at by LMGs aplenty. Forced to back off into the cover of the center heavy cover, I suppose you could say. Mortar packs up and retreats after getting battered by the German mortar. And we have guard rifles just moving around in the center, while Tier 3 has gone down for O-Field, and he gets himself a T-34. Also producing a half-track as well, which will be quite useful for both players as they can reinforce on the fly. We've also seen recently the use of half-tracks, you know, with flamethrower engineers in there being quite potent, but I don't know if we're going to see that in this matchup. T-34 moves over to the left-hand side and helps out in the engagement, breaking the lines for the German forces. However, it does take a nasty shot there by a Panzerfaust, which gives it heavy engine damage, which means it cannot move, at least not easily, and it's going to take a while for it to get back into working order. There are no combat engineers nearby. We see that O-Field is producing a combat engineer squad, which is just coming down the road right now, so that T-34 will take a while. Doctrine also selected for O-Field. We see that he goes for the shock rifle frontline tactics. We can double check over here. These German players have not selected just yet, but yeah, O-Field goes for the shock rifle frontlines. We expected shock troops, considering he had this Doctrine for 10% less suppression on shock troops, so that's nice. Up in the far north, we see our guard squad going straight into the face of those mortars, trying to decrew a mortar squad, it looks like. They are taking quite a bit of damage at the close range. However, they do have DP light machine guns, giving them improved anti-infantry capabilities. However, too much in their face forces them to back off. We also have a pack gun in the far back lines for the red player Sturmpanther, so it'll be a while. Left-hand side, we have the half-track now in full working order. It does go for the anti-air package, which means it will have quite a decent amount of anti-infantry capabilities. However, it will not be able to garrison anything anymore. Still, it can reinforce on the fly, so it's not really that big a deal, and it's very nice. It helps out for helping take down those planes when they come in. Grenadier squad in the center pushes forward onto the mortar, runs straight into the half-track. The half-track is going to take a Faust. Thankfully, the half-track is quite sturdy, so it takes a Faust like a man, and it's just going to get repaired now by the combat engineers. T-34 back in working order. We do have a Stug on the field for the purple player Overlord. He goes skipping Tier 2 straight into Tier 3. And we have the red player still sitting at Tier 2 with a pack gun on the right-hand side, right there. So that T-34 does not have, free roam. However, it can potentially catch that Stug out of position. However, it will run straight into the line of sight of the Stug right now. Stug does not manage to see it. There we go. Sees it. Takes a shot in the rear armor. T-34 down to about 75% health. Stug turns around. Second shot goes in. Down to about half health. Needs to get itself out of there. Another shot goes off. Cruise shock on T-34. T-34 gets disabled. The guard rifles push forward. Buttoning going down on the Stug. T-34 retaliates with its own shots. However, it does not want to die, so it backs the hell out of there. The guards lose one of their DP light machine guns, but make it out of there at 2 men. Conscripts push forward. Are they going to try to get that DP light machine gun? No, it looks like the Grenadiers are going to be able to steal that. There it goes. We got a Grenadier squad with 2 LMGs, one of them being their own, the other one being a DP light machine gun, which is going to be quite painful. Where is it actually? I can't see it. There it is. That guy has it. Very nice. Half-track in the center, fully repaired. Needs to back off, however. Up in the north, the conscript squad penetrates to get the munitions point. Nasty bundle laid on top of that mortar. They hit retreat. Veteran C2s acquired, and they make it out of there alive. Panzer Grenadiers trying to take them down. The half-track now right on top of the Panzer Grenadiers. Might be able to get themselves a kill. The Panzer Grenadier squad down to 1 man. Down it goes. Nice pickup there for O-Field, and a Panzer Grenadier squad is off of the field. We still do have 2 other Panzer Grenadier squads left for Sturmpanther, so he's not really, lacking in that front. Wow! That Panzer Grenadier squad has a flamethrower. That is very nice. We shall see how well they do. Maxim machine gun does get decrewed in the center of the map, a little bit in the sight of the German forces, so they might be able to pick up a machine gun for themselves. Half-track hits overdrive up in the north, trying to go straight at those Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers getting annihilated by that anti-air weapon. The half-track goes straight on top of that mortar. Gonna chase him down. No, it looks like they will make it out of there. And the half-track moves back. The conscripts are trying to duke it out against the Panzer Grenadiers. The Panzer Grenadiers will now get shot up at the anti-air gun. And the Panzer Grenadier squad with the flamethrower decides to get the hell out of there. Not worth it. And down to 2 men on the retreat, but they make it out. Conscript squad could use some reinforcements, but it looks like this half-track is on a separate mission. Center point, shock troops pushing forward onto the Panzer Grenadiers. The Panzer Grenadiers do have a flamethrower, and there goes the damage on the shock troops. The shock troops are going to throw a nade. Nice nade right on top of all the infantry. Nice hit on the Grenadiers, down to 2 men. The shock troops are getting burned alive. However, they're still alive, getting suppressed though by an MG42, forces them to get themselves out of there. While there is a conscript squad right next to the MG42 will turn around, Molotov might be nice, but it does not look like Ophil actually has Molotovs. He has not researched those. No, he actually does. No, never mind. That's the 18-8. So no, he doesn't have Molotovs. So that conscript squad ends up getting killed by the Panzer Grenadiers and the MG42. T-34 moves up to avenge its fallen brethren, and the conscripts up in the north back off. They are still at 5 men. The MG42 might be getting flanked. Nasty shots there by the mortars on the Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers forced to retreat. In center map, we now have an SU-85 for yellow player Dancier, which goes tier 1, tier 4. Very nice. So tier 2, tier 3, tier 1, tier 4. Very solid. T-34 on the left-hand side, just used to defend the zone. T-34 in the north, getting some shots off, or well, getting shot at by the pack gun. And the conscripts up in the north capture that fuel and are going straight at that pack gun. The pack gun packs up and gets the hell out of there. Excuse me. Needed to drink a little bit. Okay, so the conscripts jump into the house. They do not manage to catch that AT gun, and the pack gun just moves out of the way. Mortar shots continue to fly at the house, so those conscripts will need to evacuate rather soon. We still only have 3 mortars on the field, so that's nice. They don't go overboard, but quite a decent amount of firepower. Stug on the left-hand side did get veterancy too, so it's nice and sexy with those armored skirts. Does not quite look like Kirby as opposed to the Brumbar, but it's still kind of chubby there. Katusha coming onto the field for Dianc. Well, we'll see how that works. Half-track moves forward, notices the Stug, backs off, gets out of there. The T-34 did take a crew shock shot and got a little bit stunned. Half-track hits overdrive and gets itself out of there, staying alive, and the T-34 moves out. Katusha barrage falling right on top of the infantry on the left-hand side. No, actually it doesn't hit anything. Nice Katusha barrage regardless, forces away that MG42, and the Stug is forced to back off. The Grenadiers are essentially cut off from their reinforcements. However, there are 3 Grenadier squads right there against only 1 conscript squad, which means they will win that fight very easily. Conscripts retreat in the face of all that overwhelming force and firepower, especially since one of those has a G43s. Very nice. Combat engineers with flamethrowers and more conscripts and guards push forward. The combat engineer almost getting taken out, down to 1 man. Forced to retreat. They did lose their flamethrower as it burst the flame, and the conscripts run on top of there. Nade landing on the Grenadiers. Grenadiers retreat, dodging the damage, down to 1 and 2 men respectively, but they are going to make it out of there alive. Guard rifles run into the Stug. The Stug can't really do much against them, and we have Pyos on the left-hand side, which once again can't do really much against those guard rifles, considering their armor. Shock Troop Squad moving in behind the lines, trying to take out that mortar squad. Mortar is veterancy 3. Quite a high, how would you say, priority target, considering the veterancy. A high value target, more precisely. But yeah. SU-85 moves up, taking some supporting shots at those Grants and Panzer Grenadiers. The Stug is nearby, but the SU-85 does outrange it, so on a one-on-one, the Stug is going to lose that fight. Katusha barrage falling right on top of the artillery zone, essentially. One of the mortars does get cleared out for red. Second one is still intact right there in the center of the field, and the pack gun is not damaged, so nice little dodge there by those shots. T-34s currently in the center. This one is not repaired. It's about half health. Up in the north, we have one getting repaired, but it's still also about half health, so the T-34s are a little bit out of commission right now. Grenadiers pushing into the center. They go for that strategic point. T-34 moves in to get itself into a position, takes a shot. Nice shot on those Grants. Kills 3 of them, it looks like. We have, yeah, 3 of them. 2 and 1 from each squad. Well, 2 from one squad, 1 from the other. Second shot goes off, gains 1 more kill on one of the Grenadier squads, and the 2-man Grenadier squad remains on the field. Conscripts, shock troops, more conscripts pushing into the center. Those Grants are going to have to get themselves out of there. Mortar squad on the left-hand side getting counter-mortared. This mortar squad has 15 kills. Veterancy 3 now, while the other one up north only has a veterancy 1 with 7. More tanks on the field for purple. That is Overlord. Panzer 4 and Stug. It's a very nice combination, very versatile and very strong against armor as well. This is a mortar. The mortar for the Soviet forces gets cleared out, but G43s on those Grants. Shock troops, T-34. Well, actually, no, the shock troops are not there. Shock troops are over here on the left-hand side, going up against the Grants. The Grants taking quite a beating. Shock troops taking a nasty shot there by the Panzer 4. Down to 2 men. A little bit of a lag there. Sorry about that. And the Panzer... Oh, the shock troops get cleared out there by the Panzer IV. They were a little bit too close. That shot nailed them. And that is Ofield down one shock troop squad. Conscripts pushing forward, still duking it out against the Garens. The Panzer IV sits there. Ura getting hit on the conscripts for yellow, which is Dianc. And he gets in range of the Panzer IV, but does not manage to get off that that 18-8 apparently. And we have the Su-85 a little bit further back. Not really supporting too much in that fight against the tanks, unfortunately. It's shooting over at the Pios on the left-hand side or the southern side. Conscripts managed to push those away. We'll manage to recover that munitions. And up in the north, we have combat engineers and conscripts for Ofield running into the Panzer Grenadiers with the flamethrower. These guys are at Veterancy 2 now. Veterancy 2 gives them even more armor, so that means they can survive even longer. And they already have 12 kills. It's nasty. Flamethrower on a Panzer Grenadier squad that just should be illegal. Center point, T-34 moves in to take some shots. The Panzer IV moves in to engage it. Does not actually manage to get any shots off, and we see another Katyusha barrage falling right on top of the troops over here. Nice placement for the Katyusha barrage. Forces away the Panzer Grenadiers. Almost nails one of the pack guns. The second pack gun. Oh, well, one pack gun actually gets cleared out. The second pack gun manages to get itself out of there. But that's a nice little pickup there for the Soviet players. Left-hand side, T-34 with the half-track following moves in to engage the massive amounts of forces over on the left-hand side for purple. A conscript squad goes a little bit suicidal and gets itself killed in the victory point. And the half-track is moving with its rear armor exposed on top of these German forces. We see an incendiary barrage right on top of all the infantry here for purple. The MG-42 will be getting cleared out by the flames. There it goes. The weapon itself, it looks like it even got destroyed, so it is abandoned. And the Stug is there to defend. So it means that T-34 cannot pursue the Panzer IV. Su-85 did manage to get some good shots off, and we do have an AT gun on the field for Ofield, which will force away these German tanks. Far in the north, Conscript Squad and the T-34 trying to engage against all the Germans. We do have a pack gun on the field. Pack gun does get destroyed, probably by the T-34. The second pack gun moves in, takes some shots at the T-34, forcing it to back off after it takes a Faust by the Grens. And the conscripts up in the north with the combat engineer for support. Trying to capture that fuel. Looks like they might be able to actually capture the fuel, but now a Tiger comes to the field for Sturmpanther, and that is going to turn the tide here. We see also another Stug getting produced for purple player, which should be hitting the field right about now. No, I guess I'm a little bit off there on the timing, but it will be. Tiger just rolls forward for Sturmpanther. We'll see exactly where it goes. IS-2 getting called in for Ofield to combat that Tiger. And we see a Stug. There it is, finally coming into the field for purple. Su-85 moved in to the right-hand side to try to engage that Tiger. The Su-85 can actually take out the Tiger if the Tiger is left unchecked, however. Ooh, that's bad. Well, pack gun sets up, takes a shot at the... Ooh, very lucky there for both Soviet players. Misses a shot on the Su-85 and also misses a shot on the half-track as it moves out of the way. IS-2 moves in through the flank of that pack gun. Will be able to get a shot off if it notices. The pack gun now backs off. IS-2 takes a shot, misses however, but the coaxial gun is doing its damage. Su-85 supporting the IS-2. IS-2 trying to clear out that pack gun. Crew shock going off on the Tiger. Well, I mean, Tiger gets a crew shock off on the IS-2, I should say. And the IS-2 is a little bit disabled. The T-34 pushes forward, trying to get the upper hand on that pack gun, trying to decrew it before it can set itself up. And the tanks on the left-hand side are converging over to the right, trying to support the red Tiger. A burnout goes off on the T-34, trying to get a ram off on the Tiger. Remember not to use the ram ability at maximum range, because that is almost certain to fail, because it only works for a couple seconds before the engine burns out. IS-2 moves in, manages to take out the pack gun, but we now have two Stugs right on top of the IS-2. The IS-2 getting shot at on the side armor, gets its engine damaged. It's going to be fallen, and that is quite unfortunate here for Ofield. Stugs remain alive. Both of them now getting Veterancy 2. One of them very damaged. AT gun goes off. Gets a kill on this one. That's actually a T-34, in fact, that gets a kill. T-34 for yellow. which is surprising. Wait. Oh, yeah, that's a T-34-85. Never mind. Yeah, I was like, didn't he go Veteran C? I mean, Tier 4? Yeah, he did. But that's a T-34-85. Second Stug backs off at about 25% health. Panzer IV is still in the zone. Both T-34-85s could be able to deal with it. The Katyusha is still on the field. The SoE-85 backs off. And we have a cloaked AT gun on the field for O field, just pushing forward, trying to get into a nice position. Victory points, 287 to 377. So currently the German forces have about a 100-point lead. So they are sitting in a nice spot. However, it's, you know, not too big a lead to the point where they can afford to make mistakes. T-34-85 over here on the left-hand side, supporting the conscripts that are capturing, takes down a fuel cache, allowing those conscripts to cap, while these guard rifles are capturing that victory point. Center point, T-34, Katyusha barrage is flying into the center, trying to dislodge all that infantry, forces away the MG-42. The mortar is still on the field. Grenadiers push forward, but take a shot from a T-34-85. Down to 2 men. The conscripts are going to get reinforced on the fly. Very nice usage there of the half-track for O-field. And on the left-hand side, we see the T-34-85 backing off as Grenadiers push forward. And we now have a Tiger Ace on the field for Overlord. So obviously, I guess I never mentioned, you can see them down there, but let's just take a quick look here. We have Doctrines for both players. We have Sturmpanther going for Spearhead Doctrine, and Overlord going for the Elite Troops Doctrine, as you can see by the Tiger Ace. So Tiger Ace pushes forward. Tiger Ace is now no longer the powerhouse that it once was. However, it is still very strong. It is essentially a Tiger that comes out at Veteran C3. So it's faster and, you know, shoots really fast. A slight difference is that it has a better coaxial gun, so it means it's a lot better against infantry than a standard Tiger. But yeah. Also, other things that happen is that the resources get reduced as long as the Tiger is alive now, so no longer a 10-minute timer. But it doesn't stop the resources. It reduces, what are the exact amounts? It reduces your manpower by 25%, and fuel, for some reason it says cease, but it's not really cease. It reduces like 75% or something ridiculous like that, so almost negligible. As you can see, he has a 2 fuel income, but it doesn't freeze it fully. T-34-85 pushes forward, runs into the Tiger Race, getting shot at in return. The Stug can be shot at by the SoE-85. Katyusha barrage falling right on top of all the PIOs and the tanks. Forces them to back off. And up in the north, we still have a Tiger left on check here for Sturmpanther. There is a T-34 in the way, and that is about it. Conscripts might be able to get an 18-8 off on the Tiger, but the Tiger is very heavily armored, which means that it's very unlikely that the crit on the engine will happen, even more so than any other tank. I think there are some higher armored tanks, maybe the Elephant, but even then, again, it's still a heavy tank, so the 18-8 is more likely to fail than to succeed. Conscripts up in the north, getting on top of the mortar's face, trying to decrew it. Down to 2 men, might be able to make it out of there. Tiger backs off, getting some shots off on the combat engineers. The mortar is still alive. The conscripts trying as hard as they can to clear it out. We have the half-track and the T-34 in conjunction with conscripts trying to hold the line. Combat engineers forced to retreat. The conscripts up in the north manage to not kill the mortar. The mortar gets out of there. They're now getting shot at by the Tiger. And on the left-hand side, we still have a little bit of a standoff here with SoE-85s and T-34-85s duking it out against the Tiger Rays. The Tiger Rays no longer has ridiculous amounts of health and armor, which means it actually takes quite a beating. Look at it, it's already down to about half health. We do have a cloaked AT gun right there in the path, which did not actually open up on the Tiger Ace, which is unfortunate. But even if it had, I don't think it would have made too much of a difference. It's at about half health. Maybe would have been brought down to 25 at most, but yeah. AT gun trying to get itself out of there. Half track speeding downwards, getting in range to stop the approaching infantry in an incendiary round landing right in the approach. We'll be able to get right on top of that AT gun and reinforce it. AT gun needs reinforcing now. Come on, reinforcing now? No? Okay, well, it needs reinforcing. Don't know if it's going to get it. Conscripts on the left-hand side going for the victory point. Getting shot at by Panzer IVs and Stugs. Not a pleasant situation, but not bad. I do like that the Panzer IV gets armored skirts up in the turret as well. Looks very nice. Veteran C2 on that. Right hand side, T-34s sitting around. We still have that Tiger getting repaired in the center, conscripts in the center getting shot at by G43s and LMGs. T-30-45 pushes forward. The Tiger race still alive, down to about 30% health. Backs off. We see a Panzer IV going down on the left-hand side to one of the T-30-45s. Very nice. We also have the SoE-85 there for support. SoE-85 now veteran C3. This guy's a baller. They shoot ridiculously fast when they get veterancy. I'll actually look that up exactly how much the bonuses are because I forget. But yeah, I mean, an SoE-85 at veteran C3 is just a machine gun. Katyusha barrages flying over on the left-hand side, trying to decrew that pack gun. Does not manage to decrew it, even though the shots land very close. T-43's in the center, engaging conscripts. They will get a Faust off on that half-track. The half-track is now veteran C3, which means that it gets a lot of bonuses, including speed and maneuverability, plus also a better radius for reinforcing. Did the AT gun get recruit? Yeah, it did. Very nice. Conscripts down to 2, forced to retreat. The Tiger Race taking some shots at whatever it can. Panzer Grenadiers with a Shrek right in front of that half-track. Half-track will get shot at by both Shreks. Does not dodge it. Misses one, but the Tiger moves in. Gets a shot. The half-track gets abandoned. And the AT gun is now in a very bad spot. Katyusha barrage flying into the center. Oh, and very nicely placed barrage there. Nails the Panzer Grenadier squad. I think it actually killed one squad. Might have been a Grenadier squad there. Panzer Grenadiers make it out of one man, but just barely. Tiger's pushing forward. Panzer's pushing forward. T-34-85's on the left-hand side, getting shot at by a lot. That's a Tiger Race and a Panzer IV. One of the T-34-85s gets a destroyed engine. The Panzer IV might be able to finish it off. We do have something behind it. That's a combat engineer squad, and that's about it. T-30-45 goes down. The Panzer IV is still alive. Tiger Race moves in to protect it and absorb the shots. Combat engineers getting shot at. More combat engineers getting shot at all over the place. T-30-45 duking it out against the Stug. The Stug is veteran C3, so it will do a ridiculous amount of damage to this T-30-45, and it will need to get itself out of there. The Stug gets 30% reload reduction at veteran C3, so it shoots very, very fast. So the T-30-45 getting caught in a very bad spot, gets its engine destroyed by the Tiger Race. We also see a bombing run right on top of it. Down goes the T-30-45. The half-track gets recovered, only to get killed by the Tiger Race, it looks like. And very heavy losses here for the Soviet forces, which is quite unfortunate. Far north, SoE-85 supporting the T-34. T-34 not currently fighting, being used to actually cap to stop that bleed. 232 points to 315 in the favor of the Germans. The pack gun moves up and is in range of that T-34. T-34 gets itself out of there, and the SoE-85 is there. We see a is that a reconnaissance pass? I think it is, right? It's for this guy. No, marked vehicle going down. Okay. On what exactly? On the Tiger Race. Well, not exactly sure why a marked vehicle went down there. Tiger Race is not in any vulnerable position per se, so it will not be taking too much damage. The guard rifles will, I guess, do a little bit more damage, but that's about it. Not sure why the marked vehicle went down. Conscripts retreating. Pack guns. Panzer Grenadiers with the flamethrower still alive, doing a lot of damage. Veteran C3, they just get more accuracy and stuff, so they're kind of ridiculous. Maxim machine gun dancing around in the center, not exactly sure where to go. Center point, guard rifle being used to cap the point, so that at least the bleeding will be in the favor of the Soviet forces. Far left-hand side, Grenadier squad being used to cap as well. So a lot of losses for both sides. We have the purple player with a Tiger Ace and a Panzer IV on the field. And 2 Grenadier squads, 1 Pio, which is being used to repair, and a 3rd Grenadier squad being produced right now. Red player is in a better position. He has 2 Panzer Grenadier squad, one with a flamethrower, one with Shreks, an MG42, a mortar, a Pio, and a pack, plus Tiger. So yeah, that's very nice. Ofield has taken quite a bit of losses. He does have an IS-2 now on the field, and a T-34 that still remain alive. plus his 2 conscripts, a maximum machine gun and an AT gun, plus a combat engineer. And lastly, his ally, which I can never get the name right, so I won't even try, has quite a bit. He has 2 conscripts, a guard squad, 3 combat engineers, a mortar, 2 SoE-85s, and a Katyusha. So he is sitting in a very comfortable spot. Very nice. Conscripts push forward, running into the Panzer Grenadiers and the Tiger. Not the Tiger Ace, just the Tiger. Getting shot at. Tiger Ace, however, does move in that direction. Panzer Grenadier squad gets cleared out, however. Not exactly sure who killed it. Might have been the SoE-85. Tiger taking some shots from the AT gun. Katyusha barrage falling straight into the center, trying to clear out whatever is capturing it. And we see the the Panzer IV moving in for a little bit of a flank, try and get the upper hand on these tanks. However, there is AT-34 nearby. Katyusha's back here, and we have an SoE-85 in the center, just opening up on the infantry as they approach. Nice grenade right on top of the Grins. However, they die before the grenade goes off, and the other 2 men were on a different place, so they don't even take any damage. Mortar shots landing all over the place. Thankfully for the Soviet players, there's only 1 mortar left for the Germans, as well as only 1 mortar for the Soviets, so I suppose it's a little bit even. Conscripts going for the cap on the center point. Conscripts going for the cap on the left-hand side. Mortar laid down on the floor there. More mortars all over the place. So a lot of mortars being able to pick up. We always have another mortar over here. So, guard squad taking a big risk against the Tiger over here. However, a nice buttoning goes down on that on the Tiger. The Tiger breaks the oh, that's quite unfortunate. So a nice buttoning goes down. Marked vehicle goes down as well on the Tiger. A lot of damage goes off by the SoE-85, and that's about it. And the Tiger pops its smoke to try to get itself out of there, but alas, nicely placed shot there from the SoE-85 takes it out. IS-2 in the center, roaming around. It actually hasn't done anything up to this point. I mean, it does, make for field presence and, intimidation factor, I suppose, but it has not actually killed anything. Or even hit anything, like maybe a tank and done a little bit of damage. It has no veterancy whatsoever. Look at that. Nothing. Conscripts on the left getting pushed away by Panzer Grenadiers. We still have 2 Panzer Grenadier squads on the field for Sturmpanther. He gets a new one, though. Still has the flamethrower one, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere around here. There it is. Yeah, it's the one with the flamethrower, so they're fine. Panzer Grenadiers being followed up by a Panzer IV for a little bit of support. Katyusha barrage flying. Katyusha barrage flying over to the left-hand side. Nailing the Panzer Grenadiers that are trying to capture that point. Panzer Grenadiers taking quite a bit of damage, and down goes the entire squad. A little bit too greedy there. And the Tiger Ace takes a shot at the IS-2, finally giving it some amount of veterancy, although it does have 2 kills, so the veterancy might actually be from that. Because it didn't take any damage, so I'm pretty sure no damage means no veterancy. Mines getting laid down by the combat engineers here of the yellow player, Dianc. He's using all 3 to lay them down, so I'm not sure if that actually increases the build time, but it did build rather quickly. IS-2 moves up, takes a nasty shot there at that house, breaking a hole right in it, but it is fine. Katyusha barrage flying at the victory point. Does not manage to hit anything, especially with a high over here that seems to speed up very quickly. Mortar, 120mm mortar for the Dianc moving up. Very nice. IS-2 running into the Grenadiers. Grenadiers taking some nasty shots. They actually end up losing their LMG, which apparently they had picked up from another squad because they have G43s. And a shot from the SoE-85 nails the Panzer IV on the side armor, forcing it to back off. Grenadiers retreating from the center. MG42 set up. We have another half-track on the field for O-Field. Panzer Grenadier squad trying to capture that point. They are getting shot at by Maxim machine gun. The Maxim machine gun getting shots off while suppressed. Katyusha barrage flying into the house over here, collapses it. And we have pack guns, Tigers, and Panzer Force engaging against the conscripts. The Su-85 stay at range, being able to shoot. This Su-85 has taken quite a bit of damage. It is the veteran C-31, so it needs to be a little bit more protected. And we have 3 combat engineers repairing it, so it should be back in full working order very, very quickly. Up in the north, the half-track and conscripts push forward. These guys are getting reinforced on the fly, so a very nice controlled push here by Ofield. The IS-2 pushes into the center, getting some shots off on nothing once again. And the Tiger Race and the Panzer IV are just forced to back off. German players seem to be a little bit out of options. We do see that oh, nasty shots there. We see that Dianc does have a lot of manpower, but he can't actually really spend it that easily considering his manpower or population cap. He probably wants more tanks rather than infantry. But yeah, he already has 1,300, so it's, you know, a little bit too high, but I guess it's fine. Conscripts in the center, capturing point. Half-track around there for support. More conscripts and guard squads on the left-hand side, so it looks like the Soviet forces are able to push very aggressively now into the territory of the Germans. The Germans are pushing out once again with everything they have, but we do have a half-track with an anti-air weapon and a Maxim machine gun set up in a angle covering the approach. Katyusha barrage flies straight at the Panzer IV. Very nice target indeed. Might be able to clear out the Pios. Does not actually clear out anything. And we see a KV-8 getting called in for Ofield. KV-8 will help out against all this infantry very nicely. But another Tiger is now on the field for Sturmpanther, so that might allow him to come back into it very easily. IS-2 on the right-hand side will run into that Tiger. The Tiger will get the upper hand as it shoots first. And where is the AT gun for Ofield? The AT gun is over on the far left-hand side, which means the IS-2 is a little bit unsupported. We see a KV-8 that is. That's not even a T-34. Half-track and infantry moving in that direction. The Tiger is forced to back off as the IS-2 gets itself a little bit more protected. There is a mine right there, so trying to bait the Tiger a little bit. Panzer Grenadier Squad retreating at 1 man, making it out. Conscripts at 1 man right in front of all the enemies might get themselves killed. They retreat. Pinning down goes off on that Grenadier Squad, allowing it to survive. And the KV-8 with its flamethrower pushes all the way across the center. Pack gun gets cleared out. Guard rifles forced to retreat. The Panzer Force over on the left-hand side still alive. The Tiger Race has not yet fallen. That is quite fortunate here for the purple player. Wait, no, actually it did. No, it is. No, never mind. It's right there. I should make sure I know what I'm saying. Ram goes off on the Tiger. The T-34 manages to get it. The IS-2 taking quite a bit of damage from the Tiger Race, forced to back off as the Tiger is crawling very damaged into position. The Stug takes 1 shot at the T-34, getting it killed. IS-2 takes 1 last shot at the Tiger, getting a crew shock. And the Katyusha barrage is going to be falling right on top of these tanks, forcing them to back off. But will not actually kill anything. Su-85 pushes forward. Su-85 could shoot attacking ground at where the Tiger was and try to kill it that way rather than having to see it. Su-85 gets into position to shoot at the Stug. The Stug moves forward, only getting itself shot a couple more times. The Su-85 will pursue as a second Su-85 is coming in for a little bit of a flank. The Panzer IV is now back over here getting some repairs. The Stug backs itself off behind the Tiger Race, but the Tiger Race is severely damaged. The Tiger for red is now surrounded by Su-85s. And we have the KV-8 with a damage engine coming in for flaming runs into the base of the German players. Half-track over on the left-hand side, running into the Panzer Grenadiers. Flamethrower goes off, but does not manage to do much. And the Tiger does not actually end up getting itself killed. Remember, Su-85s can attack ground right there, and they will actually hit the Tiger, so you don't always need to be able to see it. It's a nice little pro tip there. Incendiary rounds landing right on top of the German forces, burning the Pios to a crisp. KV-8 adding more flames into the mix just to make it hotter. And we have no more infantry left for the German players. Good game, well played, says Sturmpanther. Good game from Ofield, good game from Dianc. And I guess that's going to be it. Victory points down to 4 for the German players. They're about to get ticked out, down to 2, and one more tick should finish the game. And that's all she wrote. So very nice game here, very back and forth. A little dicey there for the Soviets at the start, but very dominant here in the later game. And that the Tiger Ace ended up going down at the end over here. We didn't see it, but well, we were already very heavily damaged, so the Su-85s were going to get easy kills. Well, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.